Before we even set foot on country, this trip was already something special. For many of us, it was our first time heading this far west, leaving behind Western Sydney, our routines and what we know. But for Auntie Jenny, this journey was the realisation of a dream she's had for a long time. Auntie Jenny grew up in Brewarrina along the riverbank, learning from her elders and family. Now her biggest hope is for young people like us to go strong in our identity. This trip is part of the Murama Junior Ranger program, which was visioned by Auntie Jenny to empower young Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander youth in Western Sydney.
We arrived in Bourke, and the following day our first stop was the back of Bourke Information and Exhibition Centre. The centre was full of amazing artworks and stories about Bourke's history. We learnt that from the 1880s, Bourke was a booming port via the Darling River. As we walked through the exhibition, we noticed that there was very little about Aboriginal history or our people's stories. That was a bit sad for us because we felt there could have been so much more about the local Aboriginal community and their connection to this land. In one small section, there was a confronting quote from an early settler. The blacks on the Darling had been most barbarously murdered by our early predecessors, hunted like kangaroos or wild dogs, wherever they were known to exist. Reading this was really hard. It's a truth that needs to be told. One thing that stood out was a beautiful Aboriginal animated short film about the Darling River. It showed the river's importance to country and culture.
When I come out here, I see all these farmlands, all these properties, and they're all owned by non-Indigenous people. The land nowadays is seen as a money-making resource, a part of the economy, something to buy, sell, trade, and profit off. But if we look at the start of that video, country for us as Aboriginal people, no matter where you're from, you'll hear Aboriginal people right across the country talk about country as mother.
After the exhibition centre, we visited Bourke Cemetery to see the memorial and gravesite of Professor Fred Hollows. Fred Hollows was an eye doctor who dedicated his life to providing preventable blindness, especially in Aboriginal communities. He made a huge difference by treating people with respect and working to make sure that everybody got the healthcare that they deserved. For Auntie Jenny, this visit was deeply personal. Her late husband, Uncle Manny, worked closely with Fred Hollows. Auntie Jenny shared how proud she was of the work that Uncle Manny did and how much Fred cared for Aboriginal people.
I was in the Bourke Hospital having my 5th child, Marsha, and there was a pathologist at the hospital at the time, and she was a really wonderful woman. She really worked well with Aboriginal people. And she came to me and said, Manny's gone to Townsville. He's gone to work with Fred Hollows. Shelby Peterson at the time, he didn't want Fred in Queensland because Fred was very radical and he was very outspoken, taught a lot of Aboriginal people. They brought their clinic down to Bourke and they went down to Lake Angelico and did clinics there and then all around here. The town embraced him because I suppose he was a hero. He stood up for the downtrodden and he was instrumental in getting a lot of things happening for Aboriginal people. Fred and Gabby went off to Sydney and every time they came back they always came out and saw us.
Auntie Elaine also shared her memories of Fred Hollows.
I trained as an Aboriginal health worker at the first Aboriginal medical service ever in this country, the AMS in Redfern. And Fred Hollows used to run a clinic out at St Vincent Hospital. Yeah, he was a beautiful man. He treated them like they were royalty when he'd come into their clinic. I think he really understood the battles that Aboriginal people went through and the unfairness of us not having good health and provided to us through the years.
Aside from this, Auntie Elaine also shared something deeply personal with us. Her family is buried somewhere in this cemetery. When she was young, some of her family died from poisoning in 1928 out at Nokkalechi. We don't know if the poisoning was an accident or intentional. This tragedy left a lasting impact on her family. Her mum and uncle carried that trauma for the rest of their lives.
My grandfather died in 1928. Young auntie and I think there was 3 or 4 young uncles. They were my mother's brothers and sister. They died out at Nokkalechi. It's a big property out from Wanari where a lot of Aboriginal people live, and they died from poisoning, and they're all here. They're buried here somewhere. And luck would have it, my mother and Uncle Frank wasn't home. Very traumatising for my mum and uncle. For our Uncle Frank, he was a funny old man. He was an alcoholic because of it all, and I know. So was my mum in the end. Just couldn't deal with it, yeah. So, yeah. That's why I'm here today, because of that. So I know they're here somewhere. It's all right.
These stories are not uncommon. Poisoning was just one tactic used during what's known as the Frontier Wars. The Frontier Wars was a series of violent clashes between Aboriginal people and European settlers that took place across Australia from the late 1700s to the early 1900s. There were hundreds of these conflicts, including battles, raids, and massacres, as Aboriginal communities fought to defend their land and lives. It's estimated that tens of thousands of Aboriginal people were killed during this time. One example is the Hospital Creek Massacre, about 10 kilometres northeast of Brewarrina. There are claims that as many as 400 Aboriginals may have been killed by settlers. The Frontier Wars left deep scars on Australia's history and continue to affect communities today.
Next, we went to the Bourke railway station. This place is significant because it's where Aboriginal children were stolen from their families. Arnie Cass shared her father's story about being taken from there. It was confronting to stand in the same place where so much pain had happened. We learned that Bourke wasn't the only place. All across New South Wales, country train stations became sites of deep sadness for Aboriginal families. Children were taken from towns and missions, put on trains and sent far away, sometimes hundreds of kilometres, to institutions like Chinchilla Boys Home for boys and Cudmundra Girls Home for girls. For many, the journey started right here, not knowing if they'd ever see their families again. Chinchilla Boys Home near Kempsey was one of the most notorious institutions. Boys taken there were given numbers instead of names and punished harshly if they tried to speak their language or connect with their culture. Many survivors have shared stories of cruelty, violence, and being forced to turn against each other. The trauma from these experiences didn't just affect those who were taken. It has been passed through generations, shaping families and communities even today.
My father is a part of the stolen generation, and him and his siblings was actually taken from this train station and put on the train to Central Station. My dad wasn't known as a name, he was a number. So he was number 28, and my aunties had a number when they was in Cudmundra.
I was fortunate enough to join the Emsworth family to go to Chinchilla for the 100-year anniversary of the Chinchilla's Boys Home, and I found that extremely upsetting, but the worst part for me there was the tree that they chained the kids to, and to do that to little kids, it's just unforgivable, and I just can't wrap it around my head.
And they were taught to be violent to each other. That was like if somebody did something they thought was wrong, each child had to punch or hit that.
Yeah, they had to walk the line. How dare they do that to our people, our young men and women. The cruelty that was, out there. All the years we lived here, I didn't know that he was a stolen generation, because he never talked about it. But when we went to Mount Druitt, that's when it started, the story and the anger started to come out. And he used to just say it was a horrible place. He never said what happened. And he would have experienced a lot of horrific things that, sometimes we can't understand how the world can be so cruel. And like earlier, we talked about his connection when he went and worked with Fred. Fred was, I think Fred built Manuel up because Manuel was a man that got out there and he spoke out, and he wanted to make sure that the Kinchela boys' home, their legacy lives on, you know, and he made himself very sick because he used to drive around the country, went looking for all the brothers that they sort of got lost and they went and lived in their own countries, and so he made it his business to go around and drive around and bring them all together.
I think this site here, this railway site everywhere, is a sacred site. This is where those children that were taken from this site, this is where they lost their connections to their family, their culture, their language, everything. This is where it was taken from them. When they got on that train, they never got it back.
And I don't know if the students who are here with us today can empathise enough with the pain those little kids must have felt getting put on a train over the back here.
I knew we was going to feel some hurt and everything, but you know, this is about truth telling. I know it's not only our family, you know, there's a lot of other families, and I think that we need our story heard.
After such a heavy day, we needed to let go of some of the sadness and heaviness we were carrying. Josh and Ayula led us in a smoking ceremony. It was important to cleanse ourselves after being at the cemetery and hearing these stories.
The next day, we travelled to Brewarrina to meet with the community and local elders. Sitting with them, we heard stories about growing up in the Brewarrina mission. Missions were places set up by churches or the government, often far from towns where Aboriginal people were forced to live. These are part of a wider system across New South Wales and Australia, created because of racist government policies that aim to control, segregate and assimilate Aboriginal people. Families were moved off their traditional lands and made to live under strict rules, with managers deciding everything from where they could go to what they could eat and even who they could marry.
We're both mission girls. We come from the mission. We did, and there was good times and hard times. We get so emotional when we talk about the mission because that's where we've been reared up out there. We lived under the power of the mission manager that used to come around and check the homes and see if the homes were nice and tidy.
When I was old enough to come into school in town, we'd come in on the back of a truck, and we used to call our truck the Gubby truck, and all the kids used to sit on the back. We'd sit up there and say to each other, we're like animals sitting on the back of this truck. And we'd get to school in town and we'd be all dusty and coughing from the dust and stuff like that. We used to be on the truck in the rain and the cold,
Cold and travelling in the mud. I lost a lot of education there because I was age of 14 where we had to go to work. Mary's mum, she used to look after me. I used to go to work with her out onto the property. We used to have to cross the river and to catch a mail truck and then go out to the properties. We'd be out there for about 3 months to 6 months before we was able to come in and see our families, you know. We had to learn how to cook. We had to learn how to do the dishes and how to set tables and things like that.
Do the laundry.
And do the laundry. But only a kid at that age. And I had, like Mary's mum, taken care of me. And then being 14-year-old, you're on the property and you're taking care of their kids.
I remember myself working on the mission in the laundry, helping my mother peg the sheets and that for the managers. But I never got paid for it. I was just made to do it. Because my mother and Auntie Eva's mother worked together in the big house. They worked together, so we had to go and do stuff with them, you know.
Honey,
Hmm.
can you
Whether we liked it or not.
tell them what the big house is?
The big house was the manager's house, and it had a big veranda from the front all the way down to the side. And I remember going there to get the rations with my little brother. So we'd go there and get the rations. We'd get a scoop of powdered milk, scoop of sugar, a bit of salt, a scoop of tea leaves, half a cake of sunlight soap, and a bit of rice and things like that, which was
Rationed out.
rationed out, you know.
Yeah.
And when you complain to the welfare board today about why don't you repay us for what we've done, there's no records, but they think they know everything about us. They know nothing. They know nothing from what we've been through.
You know, all this, it brings, it's memory you don't want to talk about. But that's how it was back there in those days, you know.
You was robbed of a childhood and then robbed of an education. But then you got empowered only because later on in life you learnt how to do it, win that victory back of what they tried to rob you of.
Yeah, I just thank you all for, I know it's hard to speak sometimes too, but it's good to tell your stories so we can pass them on. And so much of my family have been lost and hard to find, so hearing your stories helps me too.
Hearing these stories from the elders made us realise how much our people had survived. The elders' strength and resilience inspire us to keep our culture alive.
The next day we cruised the Bourke. For Auntie Jenny, this river is a lifeline. She told us that no matter what happened, the river was there for her and her mob. Out on the water, we could breathe and feel ourselves settle. Our elders reminded us the river is more than a waterway. The Bourke has always been a meeting ground linking major tribal groups across the region.
After the cruise, we went to the historic wharf. We took time to reflect on our journey so far. We wrote postcards to our friends and family, sharing magical moments from the trip. The river, the stories, the laughter, and the lessons we'd learned. It was a chance to pause and appreciate everything we'd experienced so far.
The reason why we've asked you to do this postcard is it actually gives you time to sit and reflect on what you've seen, what you've heard, and what you've felt over the last 3 days.
After our reflection at the wharf, we travelled back to Brewarrina to visit the Aboriginal Cultural Centre and the famous fish traps. Brad, our tour guide, welcomed us and began sharing the story of the fish traps.
Archaeologists say the fish traps at Brewarrina is one of the oldest man-made structures in the world, and their opinions vary from the fish traps being 5,000 year old way back to 150,000 year old. 8 different tribes that spoke 8 different languages built the fish traps, and it shows us as people, if we come together like those 8 different tribes did, we can build structures, friendships, education, language, peace, health, all by coming together. Everything our people needed in the old days was here. Fish, water, bird life, corroboree, ceremony, dance, meeting place, gathering place, sharing place, place of peace, place of ochre, place of burial. Everything our people needed was here.
After exploring the fish traps, we had a chance to listen to Barbie Lee Kirby, a young Aboriginal woman from Brewarrina.
I think we have to make sure that culture isn't just tangible, isn't something you can hold or something that you can see. Culture is also in the way you were taught to speak by your parents growing up, by your community. It's in the way you do things, it's action, it's the way you carry yourself. That's also culture.
Our next destination was the Bourke Silo mural honouring Megan's great-uncle, high jumper Percy Hobson.
He was the first Aboriginal person to win a gold medal at the Commonwealth Games. He was born out here in Bourke and he grew up in Bourke.
Later that night, we sat in a yarning circle and used 3 simple prompts to guide us. What did I see? What did I hear? What did I feel?
her mum and dad saw the government truck goes out there and taking people off Woolloomoringal, Denowin.
All those country railway stations where children went to and were separated from families and then to head down to platform 1.
White Australia has a black history.
Today has been real heavy, but we're all here in kinship and that's the main thing.
They're never going to be forgotten.
Hello.
And that's what I'm sharing with you today. It's about love.
Your ancestors, how clever they were, how creative, how inspiring.
Our legacy, I suppose, is to empower you through self-determination to flip that narrative from the deficit. Our mob are not a deficit. We are remarkable. And looking at you all here today, you are remarkable.
Just thank God that I'm here today and to be able to come and share this journey with all you beautiful children. And I just thank Brewarrina because I see the work that you're doing. You're encouraging and you're walking with them. You're there in their good times and in their bad times. You're there for sorry business when any of our children are having issues in the school. You're there, and I just love what you're really doing for our kids in the Catholic schools. Thank you very much, and I just really appreciate your children because I just see so many leaders in you, and you know how to express yourself, and you've got confidence, and this is what we always lacked because we was always made to be ashamed. Just so proud of you all, walking alongside of elders, and you're making us proud because you're our next generation.
The school I go to is Cath West in Mount Druitt, and my mob is Ninjumbar from here.
I'm a proud young Wiradjuri woman.
I go to Catherine Macaulay. I am Ngunnawal.
Namba and Mythica, and my school is St Andrews.
I come from Gilroy. My mob is Darungari.
St Andrew is my school and Nimba is my country.
I'm a proud Gunditjmara Dungari man and I'm from Xavier College.
I go to Caroline Chisholm in Glenmore Park and I'm Buckingie and Kamilaroi.
St Agnes Catholic High School. I'm a proud Wiradjuri man.
I'm from Nimba and Mythica. My school's St Andrews.
From Emmaus Catholic College, I'm a proud Wiradjuri woman.
I'm from Mount Tyree Ways and I go to St Andrews College.
I go to St Agnes Catholic High School. I'm a proud Wiradjuri man.
I go to Caroline Chisholm. I'm from Mildura and I'm Murara and Buckingie.
Proud Wiradjuri man, and it's just emotional to be here out on country.
You all make me proud of who I am as an Aboriginal man.
Never, ever, ever, ever forget who you are and that our ancestors walked this land thousands and thousands of years before we did.
We came here to listen and learn, and we leave carrying something bigger than ourselves. We leave as family, carrying our elders' truth, our people's resilience, and a promise to each other to stand tall in who we are, to look after country and community, and to pass on what was gifted to us.